assembling a space station, assembling a mission to the moon.
So, and China is considering maybe someday it will launch a space lab or space stations. So then EVA is an essential for the future missions like assembling an and space lab or space station. Or also docking and rendezvous with other spacecrafts and space stations.
Yes, and imagine an orbital module that has an airlock on each end of it. You could attach another orbital module to that one, and so on.
So piece by piece, maybe you can enlarge your space craft into something.
Each orbital module would have its own particular set of instruments aboard, so that the whole system, the whole station, would have all these functions, all the complementary functions needed.
And this is a recording of the previous feat done by Zhai Zhigang, the opening the hatch. Let's again check in with the picture that is just amazing. Opening the hatch to the outer space and seeing him getting out of the orbital module in the EVA spacesuit. Although this is a moment we all anticipated, but it's still very amazing and surprising to see it in reality. Many people are saying that those astronauts should be very athletic to do those performances. He needs to have strong muscles to turn. Is it the case? No.
No, it's not. It's actually very easy.
You can't be a normal person to perform.
Even very light pressure applied for a period of time.
He's waving his hand. Just then he's waving his hand. A waving that should be taken as a very historic picture. You were saying that a normal person can actually perform.
Oh, it's not difficult at all. A slight pressure applied for several seconds will accelerate your astronaut or whatever he's pushing quite significantly. Yeah.
But how about repairing those instruments and tools on the spacecraft or the telescope?
Then you would want to be tethered to the thing you're working on in such a way that both of your hands are free, and so that if you push against it or pull on it, it's not going to move you.
Something like the airlocks. The principle is same with the ground. We use the pressure to protect particularly put through these things. So that needs some strength. That's talking about we need a little
and
bigger
they have
force.
actually trained this move here on the ground.
Yeah, they do.
So what happens if you are someone untrained, unprepared, and you are sent into space? Can you do all this stuff?
The natural reaction of an untrained person would be to overdo everything, because they're accustomed to fighting against gravity on the ground. So it would be
There is no possibility you can finish your mission without training.
You would bump your head a lot.
You would.
The first time you pushed off from the wall of your spaceship cabin, you would crash into the opposite wall.
Because you pushed too hard.
Yes.
This is the historic moment of handing over of some of the materials.
It's interesting to watch the footage of astronauts who've been in space for many weeks. You see them a scene in the interior of the space station, and they just sort of they gently push off from one wall, and then they just touch the wall with their fingertips from time to time to steer themselves. There's almost no effort involved.
So this is a stunt they learn in space.
You can learn the theory before you go into space.
But you have to feel it to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, this is the Zhai Zhigang finishing his E.V.A. and getting back into the orbital module.
There he goes.
I think this video must be played over and over again in the coming days.
各号注意，我是北京神舟7号已返回轨道舱。
Let me remind you, this is a recording of the previous E.V.A. done by 2 Chinese taikonauts on board the Shenzhou 7 spacecraft. When we are watching this recording, actually, the 2 astronauts who stayed in the orbital module are going through their repressurization process.
倾倒双补完成。
Space material science is one important branch of the space science because materials, when it's so exposed to the space, the characteristics of the material change a lot, especially the lubricant, perhaps totally different features.
So if you don't have that expectation, it may have problems.
Yeah.
Well, this is the picture that we just wowed about. The sunset in space and gleamed the spacecraft with golden color. This is unbelievable, a picture that should surprise and dazzle everybody watching it.
If you actually go outside at night and watch a satellite as it undergoes sunset, you'll see that the satellite will briefly turn red before it disappears.
At a moment, it's glittering the sunlight.
长江6号跟踪正常，遥外侧数据正常。